Hello, good day. This Sunday is the 21st Sunday in Ordinary Time. The message here is in another direction. From the Old Testament reading from Isaiah chapter 66, verses 18 to 21. What I'd like to glean from that is that we as a people are the glory of God on earth by being what God wants of us. His glory shines through us. He makes us into the brightness of His image by being people who follow His will, who does what He wants of us. He forms us, He shapes us into His own image and likeness. In the Gospel reading, Luke chapter 13, verses 22 to 30, that same theme continues. Someone asked Him, "Lord, will only a few people be saved? Strive to enter through the narrow gate." The narrow gate is to do God's will, and only God's will. Salvation is not being born into a religion. It's responding to God's call by doing His will. But I tell you, many will attempt to enter, but not be strong enough. Strong enough. It's easy to be too weak to break from what the world instills in us and what human nature leads us to do and to be. In other words, we're in a world that makes it difficult for us to readily follow the Lord. There are just so many other things going on that pull us in other directions away from the Lord. Last Sunday, it talked about it being a struggle. It is a struggle, continuous struggle to belong to the Lord and not to belong to this world and not to belong to our own will and our own ways. It is from the epistle reading, Hebrews chapter 12, verses 5 to 7 and 11 to 13. For whom the Lord loves, He disciplines. He scourges every son He acknowledges. That's not a nice thing, is it? But it calls us to submission, even when submission is painful. And submission is painful, isn't it? It's just so much more of a pleasure, immediate pleasure, just to do your own thing and go off and be whatever you feel like being. God treats you as sons. For what son is there whom the Father does not discipline? At the time, all discipline seems a cause not for joy but for pain. Yet later it brings the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who are trained by it. The pain of being God's people is the rejection of the illicit pleasures of this world and the temptation of running my own life and running on my own power. The rejection of illicit pleasures of this world, that's a pain. The temptation of running my own life and have God run my life, that's a pain. The temptation of running on my own power, but rather the discipline of running on God's power and strength, that's a pain. Because I'm no longer the center of my life, but God is. And I sure like to be like a little 2-year-old and do it my own way and say no to everybody else. But that pain, in the end, It's like the death he calls us to. In fact, he demands of us. The death of just being my own. And the resurrection of being his. What a joy that is. But first, we have to go through the pain, the struggle. The way to Calvary, the way to death, is the way to resurrection, the way to true life. God bless you. Always God bless you as we proceed through this life on our way to heaven.